Well, it's the last week of 2020. Woohoo! It's the last week of 2020. Woohoo! Hopefully 2021 will be a better year. I just want to do a quick review of some of my favorite channels that I like to watch here on YouTube and how 2021 has affected everybody, you know. The big word, two big things this year. The pandemic and the election, okay, seem to even invade significantly the whole nomad world, especially the pandemic. It changed the way a lot of people travel. You know, one of the reasons I watch a lot of these nomads is because they travel. And as I have said, my particular interest are solo nomads. I like the people that go out by themselves, you know, and choose to live in a van, an RV, a car, a tent sometimes, travel on their motorcycle, although we're not seeing too many of those this year, and live that way full time, you know. And we're seeing a smaller and smaller group of people that are actually living full time in their vehicles, as we've seen a number of people this year gravitate toward getting some sort of home base, whether it be a house or living with relatives in an apartment or staying there frequently. Or a prepper shack or something like that. So it's been an interesting year. People have still been traveling. You know, a lot of the campgrounds around the country remained open or closed for a short time and then reopened. So they're still camping out there. People have been able to go to the national parks and travel, and state parks, and some state parks have been closed, some have been open. It's been a patchwork all over the country. But for the most part, if you want to travel, you've been able to travel. It's been different this year, but we've seen so many people still staying on the road even with the pandemic. So I'm going to do a quick review of some of my favorite YouTube channels and maybe some advice for 2021. I'm going to start with the Canadians. Let's go over the border, shall we? I have to say my three favorite channels this year, and I've said this before: Slim Potato Head, Foresty Forest, and Van City Van Life. I don't know, those channels all year long have been, you know, worth watching, great stuff. I mean, they're three very different guys, no question about it, but their stuff has just been incredibly compelling this year. Slim Potato Head, I guess my advice for Slim would be, I'd like to see more of his content. You know, he's not one of these guys that posts every day or every week even. Sometimes he takes breaks. He doesn't live full-time on the road. He has a house somewhere. But what a wonderful channel. I mean, pretty much every single thing he's done this year has been incredibly worth watching. You know, pretty much traveling around Canada, which again, you know, especially Western Canada, it's just absolutely gosh darn beautiful when you look at Alberta and British Columbia, and, you know, you just can't get enough of it, you know. So thankfully those two provinces are so absolutely beautiful that you can pretty much be a nomad and stick to that. Now, in the past, you know, Slim's come down to the States, he's gone down to Mexico, he's done a lot of traveling. This year, again, with the pandemic and all that, he's pretty much confined himself to Canada. Well, but again, you know, going up to the Northwest Territories and Yukon, great videos, getting some new vehicles in there. He's got, you know, he got rid of the A-frame and got that's not a casita. It's a small, but I think it's whatever it is, whatever he calls it. It's great, you know, everything he's done this year. Of all the nomads, the one I'm just like think he's done the best job, just, you know, in terms of his content. Everything's been watchable, good production, common sense. Slim Potato Head. The only thing I would recommend to Slim for next year is more traveling, obviously, and maybe, you know, step up, you know, maybe a little more frequent posting of videos and stuff like that. It would be nice to see him come back down to the States and do some stuff, to go back down to Mexico. Again, it's the pandemic. Is it going to be possible? Who knows? Gotta love Chrome and Van City Van Life. I mean, the guy has really done an amazing job in just a couple years. He's getting way more views than some of these more established nomads that I watch. And, you know, what do you say? I honestly can't find too much to criticize for Chrome there, Van City Van Life. You know, when Disco, the other bulldog, passed away, he got another bulldog that's just as, you know, wonderful critters. the relationship between him and his dog. The fact that he's been able to stay in the van, he's dressed up that van beautifully, but he's not fall into the thing of, hey, I got to get a big luxury RV. He wants to keep it nimble. He wants to keep it as simple as possible. He has built his channel to an incredible, state. He's got Patreon. He's got an army of people that'll help support him. I think the thing I would criticize about Chrome this year is it's almost a little too much. Be nice to step it down a little bit. And, the production is great, no question about that. Keep that going. Step it down a little bit in terms of the monetization and fundraising stuff. You're getting kind of away from the basics, and I'd like to see him maybe go back to the basics a little bit. It was good to see him traveling across Canada and leaving, beautiful British Columbia. Nice to see him doing some traveling this year, even though it was within Canada. In 2021, I would love to see him come to the States. Don't just do what everybody else does when he comes to the States, because we've seen so many people everywhere down here. Maybe, a California tour would be nice, or perhaps Alaska. I'd love to see him go to Alaska. Again, it's all pandemic. Is everything going to be back to normal by the summer when we have the vaccines, or things going to be returning to normal? I would like to see Chrome do something a little different. I think Alaska would be really cool. His version, his interpretation of that. So anyway, keep up the good work, Chromie. And then of course, Foresty Forest, and he's got a new van, so that's going to be nice. That's going to be some content for a while. I don't have hardly any criticism about him at all. I love the hiking. I love the mountains. I love, even his crock pot. Keep the crock pot. Don't lose the crock pot. That's an important thing. And but nice to see him. He needed a bigger vehicle. I'm kind of sorry to see him lose the little Chevy minivan, but he was really. Yeah, how do you live in that? He needs a bigger van. He got one. It's a van, okay? It's a van. It's not an RV. So again, I think it's going to be nimble. He's going to be able to get up and do some traveling. Whatever. And he's got a great personality. He's, building his channel. I just hope he doesn't go into the over monetization thing. I'm giving away this. I'm having live streams this. I'm doing this. I'm, super chats. And, he does the Patreon thing really well. But, keep the channel back to the basics and simple and the traveling. And again, what would I say for Foresty Forest? More traveling. Maybe go to Eastern Canada more. So, even though Chrome has gone to Eastern Canada, it'd be nice if he just would go to Newfoundland and Nova Scotia and hang out there, PEI, and just do some cool stuff, spend a good chunk of the year in Eastern Canada. I would like to see that. He's done some great bike hikes through Eastern Canada if you look at his archive of stuff, but that would be my advice. Again, a pandemic. Are we going to be able to do all that traveling this year? In 2021. Who the heck knows? I don't know. My criticism for my favorite American nomads, the ones that I do watch, again, I don't know. People, it's been the pandemic again. It's just the pandemic. And to some degree, the election has gotten in the way. We're getting, some of these nomads, we're getting the political views in there, which kind of drives you crazy. We're getting... And there's a lot of politics in the pandemic. I don't know. Let's start out with Living Free Mike. I like Living Free Mike. I think he's an interesting cat. He's done some traveling this year. I think he started out, I don't know exactly when this Slab City thing happened, the fiasco there where he got kind of robbed and had to get out of there and got bit by the dog. Whether it was that I can't remember when that was that this year or late last year? I don't know. But anyway, it filters all into his whole traveling thing. Then he went and spent time in Tucson with a relative, and then I think he hung around with a bunch of folks in Florida for a while. Then he went back up to Minnesota for the summer. Okay, so now we have the pandemic hitting. He's in Minnesota for the summer, and he pretty much didn't do much in Minnesota other than just camping with the family, and that's about it. Mowing. John, was his friends, Paul, I was thinking of the Beatles, John, Paul, Ringo, it's John, Paul, Paul's Backyard, okay? That should have been an album title for McCartney. Paul's Backyard there, And he pretty much spent the whole summer doing that, which was, he hasn't done, what Living Free Mike does is he does travel, but then when he gets somewhere, he just sits there and doesn't do much. You know what I'm saying? So he spent the whole summer in Minnesota. Now he's down in Quartzsite. He got to Quartzsite in October, and what's he been doing? Just kind of, nothing much. Just hanging out with the buddies, and I don't know. I would like, if Mike wants to continue doing what he's doing, and he does have a nice, group of people there that are helping support him, and he is oddly compelling with his personality, and we love his dog Sober. But, he needs to get off his butt a little more and really do some traveling. Again, this is a big country. There's a lot of places you haven't been before, and just see him get out of his comfort zone a little bit and, try to, I guess, figure out a way where he can get a little more money and get that vehicle fixed up so it's able to travel. It just seems like he can barely make it from one place to another without it breaking down or the tires rotting or whatever. I don't know. Again, we got to, of all the nomads, Mike is probably the most likely to get off the road in 2021. He, I don't know, but his channel isn't like, going gangbusters like some others are. But I don't know. Again, more traveling and less sitting on his butt would be nice. Camper Van Kevin, which I call Kenny. There are certain nomads that I have heard through the grapevine don't like me talking about them. I don't know why that is, because the more my channel talks about you guys, the more views you get and the better you build your channels. But hey, whatever. He built the prepper shack this year, which was really cool. He had some land, but it wasn't his land. He should have bought his own land, but he didn't. I'd love to see more of that. That's very interesting about this year, and having that home base there of a shack, which was, he did a nice job with it. He was going to have 2 shacks. I don't know if something fell out with the landowner or something, but all of a sudden he left there and he hasn't done anything more with it. Pretty much he's gone to Arizona now, and he actually's got his residence now in Arizona, got his Arizona plate, so gave up the Georgia thing, which he's had for quite a while. Again, it's kind of a conundrum about what he's going to do in 2021. I would like to see Kevin do some more traveling. He got a Class A couple years ago, back when, who got one. But at least he doesn't have all the hydraulics and slides that can go wrong in it. So, he seems to be pretty comfortable in that. And he does have, some other vehicles to get around in and stuff like that. And, of course, we got the 3 adorable dogs. Again, my advice for Kenny, is just get out there and, get out of your comfort zone. Do some places you haven't been before, Circling Arizona, that he did that last year, just kind of around and around and around. And it is a beautiful state, and we see him occasionally go up to Colorado and go up to, Idaho, visit his friend JD and stuff like that. I don't know. His channel has just gotten into kind of a rut. But, he's an older guy, and, hey, he likes what he likes, and that's that. I would like to see him keep the politics out of it. He just loves to dangle these little political things in there sometimes, and I think it kind of gets a lot of his viewers upset about that. But, he does a good job being that good old Southern boy, living the simple life. I worry a little bit about his health. He doesn't look like he's the healthiest guy in the world, but I hope he's okay. I just hope he's okay. Take care of himself. He's getting older, but, if he wants to keep his channel going, again, I would have to say, hopefully, pandemic pending, get out there and do some, some cool places. When he was in Utah a couple years ago, man, those were some spectacular videos, and Yellowstone and all that. And we'd like to see more of the prepper shack and actually live there. I don't know, maybe he can get it moved somewhere to some land that he's purchased so he doesn't have to worry about getting kicked off. I don't know what happened there. I'm just guessing. But it would be nice to see Kevin, I'd like to see more of what's going on with that shack and maybe him actually live there for a little bit. It's kind of interesting. Okay, then I'm going to say Pandemonium and the Tribe. So we'll kind of link them all together there. I always like Pandemonium. Her videos are always good. I don't know. She's kind of getting in a rut, shooting out the front, the windshield footage. Okay, that's cool. 35-minute videos, a lot of gloppy food. I don't know, I am fascinated by the Panda Acres up there in Williams, Arizona, and how she's building that out and what more she's going to do with that. That's interesting. I enjoy all the people around. I'm going to lump everybody together in the tribe. Scott and Terry Destination Open Road, Wandering Jimmy, Bandit the Nomad Pug, Ed and Sue, etc., etc., etc. Sometimes Randy's there. Sometimes Dave's RV Life is there. I love Dave's RV Life. Great trip to do the Panda vehicle rescue this year. But the tribe, I don't know. It's been a crazy year. I do understand why people, don't want to wear the masks, don't want to socially distance. But at the same time, there's a certain, if you're a social creature, you got to kind of, set an example. Okay, sitting around your campfire, not wearing your mask, not socially distancing with your friends that you've been around a lot, I don't see that big of a deal, but the partying, everybody's like hugging each other and putting their cameras in the faces of each, I don't know, man. To me, and the constant going out to restaurants where everybody's just crowded in there, it's almost like they're flaunting it. Hey, we're not wearing masks and we're gonna flaunt it. And in this year of the pandemic, I don't know. I just felt that kind of like, what kind of a message are they trying to sell us, I don't know. That worries me a little bit, Again, there's some older folks in the group there, in Aj's group, and I just hope everybody's okay. I'm wondering if we haven't had a few cases of the V out there in Quartzsite this year. There's been a number of people that look like they've kind of come down with something. It could just be that valley fever, that mold and the dust. But, I'm wondering if I can't imagine we haven't had a few cases of it, with it breaking out all over the country, including Arizona, and that people are just hiding it and not talking about it, which is maybe not a good thing because it's just going to spread it more. I'm very concerned about that. The pandemic, to me, was the biggest thing with the pandemic this year in terms of the nomads, was how the behavior of everybody there in Arizona. Now, I get the blowback from everybody saying, oh, Dave, it's nothing more than a regular flu. Well, I don't know. Tell that to virtually the entire media out there that's covering it. It was a key vote in the, a key issue in the election. It very well is the reason why the current president didn't get reelected. But hey, it's just a regular flu. Don't worry about it. Yeah, I don't know. So anyway, I would like to see the Panda tribe and all the related channels. I'd like to see them continue the build out there in Arizona. I think that's fascinating. I'd like to see them go different places. Obviously, more traveling, pandemic pending, and that kind of thing. And I don't know, maybe some coordination so we're not getting everybody shooting the same things over and over again. If they all go around in a group, we all get, 5 different versions of the same thing, which, may be cool for them, but it's not cool for us as viewers. So, I don't know. Keep up the traveling pandemonium tribe. We're going to call it the Pandemonium Tribe. I enjoy your colorful personalities and all that, but, think a little bit more about your social responsibility. That's all I'm saying. And then there's another nomad that, it's been an odd year with this nomad, and I'm not going to mention his name. It's the guy that bought the house in Illinois there. He's kind of asked me not to cover him anymore. I think, I've been covering his channel for the last couple of years, and he's been okay with it, and his channel's grown like leaps and bounds. And then this year, everything was like, don't touch me anymore, don't cover me anymore. I don't know. He has done some traveling. He was in Florida at the beginning of the year, and he ended up there in Washington State for a while and everything in between. But one of the things he did do in 2020 was buy a house there in Illinois. Why he bought it in Illinois, I don't know, but he's got friends in St. Louis, so they're not that far away. It's a nice little house, and I can totally understand why somebody would want a home base in this crazy year. And fixing it up, beds, couches, some kitchen stuff, nice TV, some good internet. I totally get that. But he seems to have gone way over the top in terms of the house, multiple large arcade games in the living room, a whole bunch of Mickey dolls that he's collected at thrift stores on colored shelves in the laundry room. et cetera, buying a smart car. He's got the Class A. The Class A's had a lot of problems with it this year. The sliders, the generator, it's been a lot of problems with that huge vehicle. And he bought it a year or two ago when he was hanging out with somebody else, so it was like the two of them were going to be in it, but it's way too big for what he needs. He needs something more nimble. I don't know. It just seems like the channel has gotten way sidetracked, and I don't know. I don't know. I'm not going to get into it more than that. I find the channel a lot less. I don't know. I just find the channel, it's hard to watch this year. It's been hard to watch. But anyway, I don't know. Get the channel back on track. Do some more traveling. You got a better vehicle than that big old falling apart Class A, and I don't know. And the house, I don't know. Just it's like good idea, yes, but it went way over the top. Kind of what the heck? I don't know, man. I think that guy's going to be more on my back burner this year in 2021 than, I think that's just time to maybe start moving. If he doesn't want me covering him, that's fine. It's time to move on, right? There's a lot of other cool channels out there. So I think that's the status of that. So, all the best to you in 2021, but whatever. All right, everybody, that's it. I'm not going to talk about anybody else today. I could keep going. I could talk about a lot of other channels, and maybe I'll do that in another end of the year video here soon. But those are the main channels I've been watching this year, and again, most of them I've really enjoyed. It's been a crazy year. I hope everybody's safe. I hope everybody has a good 2021. But I think the key would be, for me, keep it simple. Get out on the road, more traveling, do some new things, sit down and go, where haven't we been in the past couple years, and go there. Whether it's in the United States or Canada or Mexico, there's still a lot of cool places people haven't been before. And if you're going to be producing content for YouTube, you better start thinking about, let's shaking it up a little more, okay? All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. You all have a wonderful, thank you all for your support of this channel in 2020. I appreciate that very, very much. And now, on to 2021. Oh, gosh. We'll see. Thanks for watching. Vlog under.